Hi there, my name is Dr. Bob Melamede, and I'm here in Michigan, happily, visiting Pete, Uncle Pete, and participating in his event, From Seed to Cure. And it's really nice to be here among the good people who are moving things forward in Michigan, as people are moving things forward all around the world at this point. It's just a matter of time, but we all have to keep working and keep pushing and making sure that we are educated and smart, unlike the bulk of the doctors and politicians and other morons that are trying to regulate our lives with their ignorance and hurting us as they do so. Well, the funny ironies of life, you know, here we've had the government peddling this nonsense, their load of crap, for decades and decades and decades, only for it to turn out that they couldn't have possibly have picked the wronger thing to pick on. I mean, here we have a plant that taps into our bodies in a way that nothing else can. Our endocannabinoid system regulates everything in our body: immune system, digestive system, cardiovascular system, skin, bones, nervous system, immune, everything in your body from conception until death is regulated by the pot that your body makes. And the irony is we have all these doctors telling us how good fish oils are, but how bad pot is, and they don't know that the fish oil they're recommending is what your body uses to make pot out of. So it's a very sad situation with our medical community, because in general they are totally uneducated about the reality of cannabis. A survey was done in the summer of 2013 that showed that 13% of the 158 medical schools in the United States mention the word endocannabinoid. The rest don't even mention the word. And here we have our endocannabinoid system regulating everything, and it's the major neurotransmitter system in your brain, but we don't teach it to our doctors. And then we have our enlightened politicians going to our uneducated doctors so that they can form policies about our health when we know so much more than they know, and they're going to tell us what to do, and if we don't agree with them, they're going to throw us in jail. Fuck them. That's the simple answer. And the bottom line is that the people of America, the people of the world, have to wake up and make some demands on these idiots that have been running the world. Which brings me to one of my favorite topics, the idea of blips and flips. So what's an unavoidable truth is that half of the people in the world are going to have less cannabinoid activity, which again is regulating everything in their body, than others. And in some people it's going to affect, you know, different areas of their body and their health. And one of the things that cannabis does is it regulates open-mindedness. So we have all these fools making fun of how it helps you, you know, how you forget everything. Well, you want to forget a lot of things. You don't want to remember everything. You remember all the trauma in your life, you have PTSD. We need to forget as well as remember things. And it's your cannabinoid system that's involved in that regulation. So we need in general to have more cannabinoid activity in modern man. There's a very simple truth here. The cannabinoid receptors first appeared with the evolution of the vertebrates. And as vertebrates proceeded and we, you know, had our reptiles and amphibians and birds and mammals, the cannabinoid system continuously increased its functionality in the organisms that I just mentioned. And it turns out that as you go up the evolutionary scale, there's more and more cannabinoid activity in the more advanced areas of your brain. So basically what that's saying is that evolution, regardless of whether you want to believe in a conventional God or just the science, doesn't matter. The point is that however we got here, we've gotten here through the continued use of cannabinoid compounds. And we're at the point now where we need them more than ever because we're living longer. And the longer you live, the more you're subjected to the friction of life, which are free radicals. And they damage the organization and the flow that keeps you alive. And your endocannabinoid system, its role is to modulate that free radical activity and to protect you. And that's exactly what it does. And that's why it's an anti-aging drug. It kills cancer. It kills autoimmune diseases, literally, you know, the bulk of our imbalances, which are caused as we age, by free radicals. Our endocannabinoid system can help protect against that. And if you make a mouse called a knockout mouse, where you eliminate a gene, in particular the CB1 gene that gets everybody high, if you eliminate that gene, the mice die prematurely. They're too afraid to move anywhere. They're so paranoid and fearful because your cannabinoid system regulates your ability to adapt and to, you know, embrace change. Cannabis users are known to be optimistic. That means they look into the future and they feel they'll do well. Well, again, the world is run by people who are cannabinoid deficient, the angry, aggressive, uptight people, the blips, the backward-looking people. And at this point, we can't afford to have that happen any longer because of the level of pollution and the military insanity that our so-called leaders have provided. They have failed. We can't look at them and look at how good they do, because they don't do any good. They rob us as they give themselves raises and nice cushy pensions. They funnel money to their buddies, whether it's needed or not, in terms of producing military weapons or anything else. Eisenhower said it a long time ago. Beware of the military-industrial complex. Well, it's not the pacifist stoners who are forming the military-industrial complex. It's those morons that are drinking and angry and aggressive and don't know how to cooperate. In other words, they are running against the evolutionary process, against the will of God, if you will, that says more cannabis is necessary. And today we are dying from age-related illnesses. Historically, we died from infections. When we were dying from infections, the inflammation was good for us, but now it's the basis of all the age-related illnesses. So we need less inflammation, more cannabis, and we need to change the world, because if we continue to have the blips do the foolishness that they do, because they can't do anything else, because that's who they are genetically and biochemically, you know, that lack of cannabinoid activity keeps them in that paranoid state. And what we need to do now is to change who is running the world and what it's being run for, and eliminate the greed, the aggression, the selfishness that will destroy humanity if we do not reorganize what's going on here and convert from the historical ignorance, the governmental illness of the blips, to a new world of forward-looking people, the flips, that are going to base their actions and their activities on cooperation, friendship, peace, love, the things that naturally occur as we increase cannabinoid activity. So peace and love, be well, be involved.